New York, please welcome the players for our next match. From the United States, Frances Tiafoe. And also from the United States, Ben Shelton. The chair umpire for this third round match is James Tiafoe from Great Britain.
Hey Ben, how's it going? This is Sky Ben. Francis, this is Sky Francis. Before we start, can we have a photo with Sky in the middle, facing cameraman here, and then over here afterwards? Thank you. And one more this way, please. Francis. Okay, gentlemen, the same format as your last match. Any preference on towel box, red or white? You go white? You go red. All right, Francis. Okay, we've got heads or tails. Anyone to call? Okay, do you want to toss that, Sky? High in the sky. Tails is scored from Francis. And it is tails. Serve. Receive. Okay, great match.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Arthur Ashe Stadium for match number 2 here on the card, and what a prospect it is as well. An American derby to look forward to between two good friends and two men, of course, who squared off here in a fine contest 12 months ago. Ben Shelton will take on Frances Tiafoe. Nick Lester alongside Jim Courier with Rob Koenig courtside. Afternoon to you, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Nick. I'm fired up for this rematch, not only from last year's U.S. Open, but also from the finals in Houston this year. Shelton getting the edge both times, so got to have a little revenge on your mind today if you're Frances Tiafoe. And it's a glorious day for tennis. It really is. It might be breezy outside of Arthur Ashe Stadium, but you can see the flag is listing, isn't it? It's not too windy on the court side. And, well, that's one of the advantages we have with this three-person booth is we can get a report down there from our very own Rob Koenig. Rob, what's going on down there, buddy?
I tell you what, gentlemen, the energy in the air is palpable. Both guys getting a rousing reception, Jim. I think it's going to be fascinating to see if the crowd picks one side or the other, but I've got a sneaky feeling they want to see a long, arduous match, and whoever's in the lead is going to have to fight the crowd, because I think the other guy who's losing is going to get the support because they want to see this one go the distance.
May well be right, Rob, as we take a closer look at Ben Shelton, 21 years of age, developing on track in terms of where you feel he should be, Jim, at this stage of his career, given really how relatively new he still is on the tour.
Yeah, this is his second season on tour as a full-time player. Burst into our consciousness in 2023 in Australia when he ran roughshod into the quarterfinals, and then it was an adjustment period between then and the U.S. Open last year where he was finally able to win back-to-back matches after not having done that since Australia, but made a great run into the semifinals before Novak Djokovic put him out to pasture. But he has continued this year to improve lots of elements in his game, and he's been far more consistent, Nick, this year. That's a big, big jump up for him, and he's seen his ranking climb as a result.
Consistency wasn't necessarily the thing for Frances Tiafoe in the first half of this year, was it? He was struggling by his own admission. But the good news is that he seems to have found his mojo back over the last, I guess, month or so. Coming to DC obviously is a big week for him, isn't it? We know that's obviously hometown for him, and seemed to get something going there.
He was one of the players, and there are many who chose to bypass the Olympic Games and focus on the hard courts of the United States, and that's where Francis he thrives. The two most important tournaments to him are this tournament and his home tournament of Washington, D.C. I think he really made a pivot that was necessary in his mind at Wimbledon, actually. He was down 2 sets to love in the first round. He'd been on a bad patch, as you mentioned, and he just dug his toes in, dug his heels in, and really put his heart and soul into that match, turning it around and eventually losing a tough 5-setter to Carlos Alcaraz in Wimbledon that I think reestablished some belief that was definitely lacking at that point in time.
Yeah, that win over Arnaldi that Jim is referencing in the opening round at Wimbledon. As we get a look at that head-to-head, as Jim mentioned, that match in Houston, of course, and also the one here last year. Rob, try and take us, if you can hear us okay, just try and take us a few X's and O's of what we're looking out for here from both men. What are the non-negotiables, do you think, for both guys out here?
Well, non-negotiable, they both got to serve well. And it was interesting last year when they played how many breaks of serve there were. When I was going back and just having a look at the numbers, I was quite surprised that
30
they
seconds.
broke each other as much as they did. And Shelton only saved 2 of 6 break points, so he got broken on 4 occasions. Tiafoe was broken 7 times. And I tell you what, if Shelton returns well today, that could be the tipping point in this matchup. So what I'm looking for this time round is a better serving performance. That will lay the platform for the rest of their games to flourish off of. And if they both serve pretty well, I think then the next aspect becomes who can make more meaningful returns when it matters most. And of course, last time they played, that 3rd set tiebreaker was so critical. Tiafoe had a set point on his serve, didn't make it count, lost that 3rd set tiebreak, and literally that has become a tipping point in the following 9 months for him, where he never really recovered after losing that tiebreak and eventually that match, Nick. So I think once again this could be a paper-thin margins.
A real highlight of the 3rd round on the men's side. This is a match, for want of a better word, with a fair bit of sizzle attached to it, isn't it? These two guys can bring it. New York, the perfect stage for them to show us what they can do.
Ready.
It'll be Shelton, who enjoyed such a fabulous run here 12 months ago, to get this one going.
15-all.
Ben Shelton has one of the livest arms in men's tennis when it comes to delivering firepower from the serve. Last year, nearly hitting a 150. This year, he's really starting to vary his serve a lot more. Yet to miss a first serve here today, but if you look at the speed gun, you can see his mom Lisa on the left, Dad Brian and coach on the right. He's really not reaching back for the powerhouse flat serve as much. He's trying to keep his opponents off balance. As a result of that, guys, he's taken his first serve percentage up pretty dramatically. So he's making a lot more, keeping folks off balance. And he's also taking a little bit of stress off of his arm. Remember all the cupping marks that were on his shoulders last year at the US Open? You don't see any of those here, do you? It's the evolution of Ben Shelton. It is very much a work in progress.
Game, Shelton.
It's amazing, really, because I was looking at those first serve numbers as well, Jim, this morning. And if you go back 2 years, his first serve percentage was only around the 56 mark.
He goes to big targets. He doesn't go for the corners as much. Shelton does it with a lot more off-speed pitches. It's a different philosophy. And for you guys, it'd be like bowlers, right? Speed bowler versus someone who's throwing googlies and all that good stuff. How did I do?
I mean, that's some good knowledge, Jim.
Welcome.
Let's not go too fast past the googly, because we might lose each other.
Love your team.
What did you see in Francis in the last few weeks?
As I see his parents there in screen for a starter.
Yeah.
What have we seen?
What was missing? You referenced it briefly, but what's he got back that he didn't have at the start of the year, tennis-wise?
A lot of it starts with his outlook and optimism, right? There we see his girlfriend, Ian Broomfield, who was the body double for Venus Williams in the King Richard movie. Played a high-level college tennis in America. It's a confidence thing, which leads to better shot selection. You know, Francis and Robbie, jump in any time here. He's one of the more disruptive forces in men's tennis. He can get to the net, crush and rush returns. He keeps opponents off balance with his location on the court, I think, Robbie.
Absolutely. The double-handed backhand that he has, he's got one of the better single-handed slices.
14.
I think in the quicker courts, that variation that he has off the ground really served him well. His backhand slice was, I think, even a little bit more effective in Cincy. Good hands in the forecourt, sneaky good serve. But I think his energy is back, Nick. Also, when I have a look at his body language on the court, I thought against Musetti in Cincinnati, that really caught my attention, how well he played against Lorenzo when there were half chances for Lorenzo to get back into the match there. They were so quickly snuffed out and often snuffed out with high quality points. And it was like, okay, the man's back, and he's back in a big way. Saved the match point against Runa, let's not forget. That would have given him a load of confidence.
He was down 5-2 in the third set against Runa. And rescued that situation to reach the final. That was worth a lot of valuable prize money and points, but you nailed it, Robbie. Most essential for him is confidence and belief.
With that shot, given the time.
30 love.
Good was that? I mean, that is not an easy serve to control from a return perspective.
You guys would be Duran fans, right? That's a flex, 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 flex.
Brilliant. I love that from both players.
40-15.
There's the change-up you were talking about, just 107 mile an hour second serve, but all kinds of spin and torque on it. And then the improvisation from Francis, where he's got the chip return. Able to put that ball back in play. Oscar, good question.
Shelton.
Thank you very much, boys. Wow.
Shelton enjoyed
Shelton
that one.
leads by 2 games to 1.
An early lead.
First sets.
Actually watched Ben Shelton practice just as I arrived here a few hours ago. Finished this session with a fair bit of serving into different targets. With David Witt these days is Tiafoe, of course, relatively new partnership. There he is. What sort of personality is David?
David is a highly accomplished coach. Started with Venus Williams and has done amazing work with Jessie Pegula, leading her into the top 5 in the world. He is a very relaxed, even-keeled coach, a little bit out of the Craig Boynton mode. Doesn't get too up, doesn't get too down, just brings a nice sense of calm to a team. And with that is probably really helpful for Francis in this moment. Of course, the coach that really helped Francis get into position to be talked about the way we do is Wayne Ferreira. He did an amazing job with Francis, giving him more options to get to the net, making that sliced backhand more of a weapon like Robbie talked about. And David Witt is very much out of that mold. Most of us raised our eyebrows when they parted company, Ferreira and Tiafoe at the end of last year, but I think this one makes sense in the same kind of way. That's my view. What's your view, Nick?
Again, just seeing it from the outside and not necessarily always from the inside. I just get the feeling with Francis's personality that there's got to be a bit of free rein there as well. I would sense it's not all about 100 miles an hour work all day, every day, is it? I don't think. That would be my assessment of it. And then I just wonder if he is a bit of a free spirit, right, as well. So you're going to know when to come in and know when to not, I would imagine. Is that the perspective that it senses?
Yeah, I think so. Robbie, what did you glean? Obviously know Wayne very well. What did you glean from their time together?
Yeah, I think you've wrapped it up in a nutshell, Jim.
Shelton.
Stunning returns.
Yep.
And Shelton, who doesn't break up that often,
Shelton leads by 3 games to 1.
Especially doing so at the first time of asking, that makes it even more impressive. I think Wayne gave him a lot of belief. I think he respected Wayne's career as well, so the buy-in was there from the beginning. And I think their temperament suited one another. Wayne's got a quiet intensity about him. He's not a very raw coach, so you know, I think communication and personality is such an important ingredient in coaching. I think that's why they worked so well.
Backhand well here, early stages Shelton, isn't he?
That's a trouble sign for Tiafoe, because the forehand, you've already seen him go nuclear on that shot. If he's solid on the backhand, it's going to be a tough ask.
And I don't know if you gentlemen saw the news this morning, but you mentioned Craig Boynton.
Dirty love.
Looks like Craig and Hurkacz are parting ways, gentlemen.
Yep, that is going to raise a few eyebrows as well, given their success, and that will probably, I told Craig on text earlier today, keep your phone handy. I'm sure it'll be ringing. Tiafoe ringing the bell with that volley.
30-15.
Nice, clean, simple technique, right? Uses his feet here, not much of a follow through, just accepting the pace of this passing shot. That is picture perfect.
See bringing some heat off that wing early on.
40-15.
That over 100 miles an hour.
And once again going for placement on the serve. That one just 108, the one before 107. Not redlining all the time as you suggested, Jim. Well, he brought out the Kenny Powers fastball there.
And Francis was on it, wasn't he? That by far the fastest of the match, about 10 miles an hour quicker at 136 than his previous best offering. But Francis on top of that one, and a little tension in this service game, possible rebreak.
Advantage, Shelton.
Did I hear that right?
You certainly did.
Throw in a little alley in there, or a little die. He's going to be multilingual and adding fans all around the globe.
Incredible get initially from Shelton. And he has stolen that point. He extends his lead. Good start.
Shelton leads by 4-1, first set.
Was forthcoming. It's a dynamic playing a fellow coach in your day.
It always brings a little bit of more blood boiling for the Americans, and certainly for all nations. I think there's a sense of pride if you want to be the alpha. These guys are a different generation, right? Tiafoe is the generation with Tommy Paul and Riley Opelka, Taylor Fritz, So this creates a little bit of a different dynamic, because especially when you're the older player, a more experienced player, you don't want to be 0-3.
Let's
0-2. So there's no doubt in my mind that Tiafoe needs this match for his ego as much as he needs it for points and opportunity. Ben Shelton's had the better year. He's won far more matches. He's ahead of Francis in the year-to-date race, not by much, but you know, at some point you want to be the peacock in the locker room and show off your feathers, and this match can help you dust them off.
Game. Tiafoe.
And Jim, when you're assessing a matchup like this, how much do you take into account recent results, the importance of that versus, say, an overall
leads by 4 games to 2.
Francis has been playing well of late, perhaps slightly better results-wise than Ben, but overall it's been a good season for Ben.
Well, I think it depends on which camp you're in. Obviously, if you're Francis, you work on building confidence through that momentum, and you tell him this is a different matchup. You're a different player than when you played him in Houston, which is true, by the way. Francis was in the dumps leading into Houston. That was the only good result he had in the first half of the season. Great reflexes, but not enough to get the point. Look, at if you're in Shelton's camp, you tell him, look, matchup is what matters here. You've beaten this guy twice, including on this court last year. This is a good matchup for you, and you build confidence in your player from that direction.
Cool.
Most of that opportunity, did he? Well, he got a little planted.
15-all.
Actually caught by surprise reading this morning. This is the first matchup between 2 American men in the top 20 in a major since Sampras played Agassi in the final here in 2002. Couldn't believe that.
That is shocking. Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Years with Roddick and Blake and Fish and Ginepri. Yeah, amazing.
Side to side.
15-13.
Great job.
It was a good serve for him in this matchup 12 months ago. And we had a look back at some of the numbers, and that wide serve on the ad was very profitable for Shelton. Almost 85% of the points in these two played here last year.
Cool.
Tell you what, when the returns have come back,
40-13.
Ben has been so very good with his first shot. Thereafter, he's dictated the rallies very intelligently. Serve +1 has been good. A lot of serves have come back, gentlemen.
That one, but not nearly with as much purchase as Tiafoe would have liked.
New balls,
Shelton
please.
with the break and with a good lead in set number 1.
Mine, Nick, my sense is that it probably is not a great memory for him. I mean, Novak certainly made a point when he beat him in the next round to hang up the phone on him and kind of say, you know, with a wry smile that it's just having fun with it. I think we all have seen know enough about Novak to know that he was just establishing who the real alpha was.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that makes Ben so appealing is he is different. Like the way that his energy on the court, his intensity, his connection with the crowd is. Uninhibited in that direction, and that
good for the game, right?
It cuts both ways. Some people don't like it, some people do, but everyone has a view on it, right?
Absolutely. I guess my question would be, does it create attention he doesn't need?
Well, that's the thing that players learn over time, is to where to spend your energy. Use it in useful ways. As we see Jordi Arconada on the right of screen next to David Witt. That's the longtime friend, hitting partner, and coach of Francis. That's nice. Good hold. So Shelton will serve for the first set, and the last thing I'll say on that, you guys feel free to pile
leads
on,
by 5 games to 3.
is as you mature, you just pick your spots. If you need it to lift yourself up, great, but post-match celebration should not be a cause of friction.
Been playing at a good pace this set, 28 minutes. We thought that might be the case. Shelton looking to close it out.
That's a pattern of play that would work well for Tiafoe. If he could keep directing 2-3 shots into the backhand corner of Shelton and then fire one into the forehand corner, that running forehand for Shelton is still very much a work in progress. He's much better operating out of his backhand corner, hitting forehands, much more comfortable with the inside in and out aspect of that swing.
Backhands has really got the racket through because he hits the ball so flat, Nick.
Love 13.
He generally guides it, but that one he went after because he has missed a couple of routine backhands early on. So he's decided, I need to get more racket head speed going, and that one he flushed.
Giving himself a look here. Love 30.
Love 14.
He's had some looks at second serves, and he has made the most of them here.
Tell you what, that is not an easy
15-14.
shot because there's a decent amount of slice on it. It's low. It's in an uncomfortable part of the court. Short, you haven't got a lot of court to work with. You've got to get that ball up and down quickly. Well executed given the circumstances.
Let's for service.
Hey.
It's 2 points in a row. 2 break points in a row that Tiafoe's had second serve opportunities. And Shelton very intentional with his location, going body, forehand, jamming Tiafoe up. Understanding that Francis's backhand return is far more dangerous and far more secure. So smart serving from Shelton, even though he missed first serves. Very mindful of where he hit it, and he stayed in control of those rallies as a result. 2 down, 1 to go.
Tiafoe, who breaks back. It's 5-4 in the first.
Shelton leads by 5 games to 4, first set.
From his perspective, at an opportune moment. Back on serve.
I'm also wondering, like, now when Ben has got broken, let's say he's spot serving more than going with the power serve. Does that make him reassess? Does he think, well, I should have gone for more big serves because he's not getting as many unreturns? Only 20% of his first serves are unreturned, compared to 46% in previous rounds. And I wonder how that manifests in a server like Ben's mind. Because if he ends up breaking here, it won't matter.
It'll matter eventually, but his focus is going to be right here and right now, trying to steal 2 more points.
Hey.
15-13.
Good feet into the court, Paul. Good feet into the court. Come on. Got this, Paul. Come on. Good toss right here. Good shot. Come on.
Return. Tiafoe just was simply not ready for what was going to come back his way. He worked hard to get the break back. He's in danger of letting it slip again.
Hey.
15-14. Shelton next to the first. 2 breaks to 1.
By 6 games to 4.
Lefty takes it 6-4. Too many seats to be had on Ash. Shelton set to the good.
15 love.
Despite the good year that he's had, he's actually today looking for his first top 20 win of the year, which caught me slightly by surprise. 0-7 Shelton is against top 20 opposition this year. Consider where he is. He's knocking on the door of the top 10 right now, is Ben. Not breakthrough this year, but
that was a little bit of Hogwarts stuff,
First
gentlemen.
game, second sets.
Ball.
I think that shot needs to improve in the second set for Tiafoe. He's missed a lot of backhands in the net. That's my gut feel. It's just been 1 or 2 decent strikes, but better net clearance, better feel on that shot.
It's hard for him, Robbie, given how flat he hits his backhand. For him to get net clearance, he has to take speed off of the ball because he doesn't add spin to it. So it's always a fine margin for him, and it's a bit of a tell that he's feeling under pressure from the baseline attack of Ben Shelton, and isn't that nice to say if you're a Ben Shelton fan, because that just underscores that he's making improvements.
is it me or have backhand's got flatter and maybe tennis in the last decade?
I wasn't listening.
Most things are me, Jim. It's okay.
Let's start there and then work backwards.
We do that at home. It's always my fault, so that's okay.
No, I'm married too.
But our backhand's getting flatter in the men's game. There's a lot of them out there, right?
Some of them are.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an epidemic. Do damage with the backhand, by and large, flattening it out is the way you need to do it. Forehands, because of the freedom of the finish of the swing, are just a faster shot by nature. Unless you have a one-handed backhand, someone like Gasquet can create a tremendous amount of spin and speed. Wawrinka, you know, some of those Dominic Thiem backhands, but by and large, if you want to hurt people with your backhand, it has to be flat to get through it.
Game. Tiafoe.
The one obvious exception is someone like Casper Ruud.
1 game all. Second set.
With a significant, more amount of spin on the ball.
But he doesn't hurt people with it as a result, right?
Absolutely.
He has the spinniest backhand in tennis, but it doesn't have the speed that someone like Nadal's forehand, or Casper's for that matter, brings to bear. That is the combination that is devastating. But in an absence of speed, if you have a lot of spin, you're just asking to get hurt.
15 left.
There's obviously that little perfect sweet spot of speed and spin. I think you'd start with someone like the greatest ever, Novak's backhand. He's right bang on in the middle when it comes to the amount of revolutions per minute he puts on. In the top 50, he's 23rd out of 50 players in doing that.
wasn't quite effective enough.
You look at the people who have the most topspin on their backhands in the top 50 last year. It's led by Casper Ruud, and then you go to a bunch of one-handed backhands, right? You got Tsitsipas, you've got Dimitrov, you've got Musetti in there.
Let's go service.
It's pretty clear that the best backhand around, Novak's backhand, he can flatten it out if he wants to, and the thing that he does best is also change direction at will. Oh my. How did he make that return? It sounded like a bomb going off. Serve.
Well, I think it's by Shelton as well. He seemed to be somewhat perturbed by it. A rare miss off his forehand.
All.
Shelton has dropped the hammer from 15-30 in a position of some difficulty there.
Shelton leads by 2-1.
Ahead.
Second set, and by 1 set to love.
These two putting on a good show here so far. One of the highlights, their match of the US Open last year.
Love the team.
Let's go. Right back.
Robbie, we know that Shelton is a phenomenal server. How about his return to serve? Is there room for growth there?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a key element for him, Jim, going forward. I think if you can bump that number up, I think there's a threshold of about 35% that you need to get to, just over 34.5 to 35 if you want to be a top 10 player.
35% of what? Making returns, winning points again?
Return points, 1%.
Gotcha.
That's the key number. If you have a look back over the last 30 years of year-end top 10 players, very few of them are below that number. So even if you're an unbelievable server, you still have to have a decent return game to be a top 10 player, Jim.
Beautiful forehand there. Gets a chance here at 15-30. Where does Shelton fall in those metrics now, Robbie? What are his numbers?
Yeah, he's up a bit. He's at 33.1. A little bit up from 32.6% last year, which was one of the lowest on tours. So if he wants to become a top 10 player, there's definitely some improvement there. Our fellow countryman Kevin Anderson is one of the lowest.
He saw the racket face opening, he was sharply forwards, wasn't he?
And if he can keep getting into so many points on return, that is only going to serve him well. John Isner's the outlier, Jim. He's one of the only guys in the last 33 years who's below 30% of return points won. And of course, if you look up serving outlier, he's the guy. So I wouldn't look at him as an example, but the point is that Ben needs to get around 35% if he wants to be a top 10 player. And he's about 2 percentage points below that at the moment on return. So we'll keep an eye on that number as the season unfolds.
There's a big moment right here. Second serve, 30 all.
And of course, as you climb the rankings, Jim, as you know, to improve those return numbers, you're playing against better guys each and every week, so it becomes tough, doesn't it?
Yeah, you certainly want to be playing the top level competition the most, because that means you're getting to the business end of tournaments.
So the obvious question to both of you is, how does he improve his return? Because we can sit here all day long and talk numbers, but how is he going to become a better returner?
So at 10,000 feet, what Robbie's saying, which is factually correct, and full credit to Jeff Sackman, who's a brilliant analyst and data analyst who has a great website, tennisabstract.com. Highly recommend you check that out if you're a tennis geek like we are. Look, the reality is there are various ways to win points, right? But you start with the basic fundamentals. You've got to make returns, otherwise you have no chance, right? That's obvious. So that's the first place to look if you're Ben Shelton's dad and his team. And our friends at Hawkeye gave us some numbers that the top 50 in men's tennis, they make, against first serves, they make 72% of their returns in play for the year. That's a yearly average. So that's the baseline you start with. You've got to be close to that, right? And Shelton is at 68%. So he's not giving himself as many chances as his peers.
That's balls in play, Jim.
Balls in play. First serve returns. And it gets even worse. That's on the forehand side. On the backhand side, players make 75% of the returns. Why? Their swings are more compact, and they're able to meet the ball, and they just have a higher hit rate there. He's down at 70%, so he really needs to work on his backhand return. So that's it. You really need to have that discussion of where am I standing, depending on the server. What type of return am I trying? Am I trying to swing, which is much harder to time on the forehand, or am I chipping return, which Francis does a terrific job. But you got to go down the rabbit hole there and find that solution first. And then the rest of it would just be a better baseline player. Once the ball's in play, you're just playing baseline rallies. And Shelton has improved.
Shelton leads by 3 games to 2.
Yeah, plenty of room for growth.
By 1 set to love.
Set and 3-2.
Ready for play. Thank you.
The queen bee of fashion at Vogue magazine, and she's befriended Francis and his girlfriend Ian. She's helped them get decked out for parties.
15 love.
It's called Friends with Benefits, isn't it?
Yeah, but she is also one of the all-time great Fed fans. Huge Federer fan. There's Ian.
30 love.
Isn't she dressed smartly today? Easy game here for Tiafoe so far. Is she wearing the same suit that Robbie's wearing courtside? Kind of looks like it.
Hey, behave yourself.
New balls, please.
Good stuff on serve in this set. These men have kept things tight.
Last year's match, there were some big hitting, but lots of unforced errors. And today, it's pretty concise. Both guys very much more in the winners column than unforced errors. So it's a nice level of tennis, a nice bit of tension in here, but something's got to give. 3 apiece in the second set. No break points yet in set 2 for either player.
first time Tiafoe's taken a deep position on the second serve.
It is. You guys like that, Nick?
I mean, he's giving himself, go back to the conversation we had 5 minutes ago, he's giving himself more chances, right? He's a great athlete, so he can certainly use his wheels to good effect.
Yeah, let that spin die out a bit. I think the spin has been undoing him on a couple of occasions.
Chance now for Tiafoe. A couple of good returns in play and nice finishes. That same category we were talking about, returns in play, Tiafoe's forehand is below average, just at 70% compared to the average of 72, so better than Shelton's, but his backhand returns, he makes far more than average. And he's generated 3 break points here to break the second set open.
He's actually done a good job on that forehand return a lot today, isn't he? As well. It's a nasty one, but he's put a lot back in play. Chances to break open this set.
Got a decent amount of racket on ball there to Tiafoe off that backhand side. You expect to make that. That had some serious talk on it, boys.
Let's for service.
Ball.
142. It's the murmurs of the crowd. Here's a second serve chance for Tiafoe.
Juice.
How about that variation on the second serve? 109 miles an hour with the wicked twist on it. Tiafoe got airborne and couldn't get enough stick on the return. And from love 40, Shelton climbs back the deuce.
Ball.
Wasn't he, throughout the course of the rally, but he hung on tight and got his reward.
Advantage, Tiafoe.
1 of 6 on the breakpoint conversion rate so far, Tiafoe.
Thank you.
This match starting to come alive. You can feel it down here, the energy starting to rise.
Juice.
Another ferociously swift serve, gentlemen.
Yeah, he's top 5 this year, Shelton, in breakpoints saved. He's actually 4th, 70% over of breakpoints he's saved on the year.
Advantage, Tiafoe.
A little fortunate, Jim, maybe to get away with that approach. He put the pressure on again.
kind of serve does he bring here? All the options on the table, the slider out wide, the bomb tee, the body. Which way does he go? You were pointing out how effective that was for him last year in this matchup.
Juice.
Almost 90% of points won. Just got a full deck of cards, isn't he, when he comes up to the line? There's just so many plays he can use, as you say.
And most of the break points take place in the ad court, which is a nice place to serve when you're a lefty. Of course, Ben McEnroe has pointed out to me many times how difficult it is serving into the deuce court for a lefty, and how it's a big advantage for the righties to get more chances to. So, you know, you could shape that argument. You know, you get a sense that Mac's dad was a pretty good lawyer when you have these discussions with him.
4.
Come and go in the game, and that'll be a real lift for Ben Shelton. Set and fourth round.
Shelton leads by 4 games to 3. Second set, and by 1 set to love.
Run. Invest. I'm ready.
Enjoying this one.
I like that play, gentlemen. Because when I last
15
checked, Shelton was chipping almost 50% of his backhand, so using the slice a lot. So that sneak will keep him honest.
Taking care, and Shelton just got his lunch money stolen on this point, didn't he? Thought he had it, and Francis just casually swats that one across for a winner. Theft in broad daylight.
Let's go service.
This is one of those towns, and I live here. I have for a long time, for at least the summers, and lived here full time before. This is, when I moved here, I learned quickly, you keep your wallet in your front pocket, not your back. Always be on your guard, and that's what these players have to be as well here in this matchup. Quick reflexes.
Thirty 15.
Robbie, you probably have one of those cool, like, little chains on your wallet.
Oh, I'm bad. I'm really bad. Yeah, we've got to be on our golden essay as well, so well-trained, Jim.
I can tell you, Jim, that Robbie's wallet's so big you can bungee jump off it.
Do moths come out of it when the checks come out at dinner, too?
Occasionally.
40.
Hurting my feelings there, gentlemen.
Wouldn't dare.
Reputational risk of working with me and Nick, Rob.
Such a big fan of that play, crush and rush. Tommy Paul does it so well from that deuce side.
Yeah, all these guys with good two-handed backhands, right? They can just follow it right in and have a good angle to defend the net.
It's another half-pint backhand for me. He's not committed to that shot.
Juice.
He's had moments when he's hit it well, but for the most part, it's been below par.
Let's find something here. Does Tiafoe had the 5 breakpoint chances in the prior game, didn't get it, and now he's back to deuce. This set could get away in a hurry if he doesn't tidy things up here. Shelton looking for input from his dad as to where to stand. He's going deep for this return.
Advantage, Tiafoe.
Just telling himself, ball drops is only an 84-mile-an-hour second serve, isn't it? So actually, by the fact he's so deep, the ball's lost a lot of pace by the time it actually gets to him. Test survived.
4 games all, second set.
I'll tell you something that becomes quite evident when you sit courtside here is how much individual fans get involved with the players. It's like everybody feels like they have the right to coach and say something. It's brilliant, gives the fist pump, says a couple of words to him like he's the coach.
Indecisive.
Love 13.
Second game in a row on serve. Shelton's been in a position of real peril.
Shovel on the other side of the court to be able to dig himself out. Does he have one on this side as well? Another love 40 deficit staring him in the face.
Just takes one.
First double of the day as well.
I've got a lovely little probabilities of holding serve from the US Open chart here, and at 1140, the average in men's singles is 15%, so he's going to have to defy the odds again, folks.
Winning that point certainly defied the odds. Tiafoe had him seemingly dead to rights there. His mom looks on anxiously. Francis gets another great point. 0 for 7 in this set. Here comes number 8.
Telling me 7 of the 11 break points. He's now found the first serve so far in this match as Shelton.
Advantage serve here. I wonder if it breaks Tiafoe's spirit. This is got to be so tough for him, having all these chances and not having any luck converting.
Yeah.
shuts the door on him and has a word with himself.
Shelton leads by 5 games to 4. Second set by 1 set to love.
The recovery required here for Tiafoe. Good finish.
Fifteen love.
16 of 20. And he's coming today, Tiafoe.
Yeah, good response on the first point, given what's happened in the last 2 service games. What did they say, Nick? Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. Big test of the mentality and character right here for Francis.
Dirty love. Forty love.
Just the 5th unforced error by our numbers of this set. Shelton might have a bit of a problem here.
Four.
That is top-tier tennis right there.
40-30.
Certainly top-tier swagger as well. Definitely touching this one over. Any signs of duress movement-wise in that point, Nick?
Didn't see it.
Seemed to be okay, right?
Yeah, I wonder if he just caught something on the previous point.
Certainly caught that drop volley perfectly.
Game. Tiafoe.
He's had to overcome some frustrations at times in this set. And he might well feel as though it's one that he should have secured already.
5 games all. Second set.
Not the case. Good news is he's getting looks.
Yeah, and that's in spite of Shelton not missing many first serves, serving over 75% in the set, better than he did in the opening set. Francis doing a great job of applying pressure, making returns, and getting into position. Now he just needs to finish the job off if he gets another break chance.
Four.
Fifteen love.
Go.
15 all.
see if we get a serve and volley here in this game from Shelton. His dad's been asking him to serve and volley once per game this summer.
Asking for that not up to be called a little sharper than it actually was from James Tiafoe.
Yeah, it's playing on the big screen right in front of James, but he didn't flinch, gentlemen. Another serve with some serious horsepower. I mean, the sound it makes off of his strings just melts into them.
Special from Tiafoe. Shelton looking to try and accelerate with his big shot. Once again, for a third game in a row on serve, Shelton staring down the barrel of break point. My goodness, have his numbers been good as we referenced this season.
Mostly been the wide serve in this court that tons of damage, but every now and then the piper down the middle.
Tiafoe gets his reward. And here is serve to take set number 2.
Tiafoe leads by 6 games to 5. Second set, first set, Shelton.
It's a stranglehold. There's no doubt about it. Problematic.
15
that it would have been more.
Yeah.
Wild.
I was to see one here last week.
Yeah, it was. Okay. It's looking like a split decision, gentlemen. 2 more points for Tiafoe to send it into a third set, all tied up.
Yeah, he is tough to get a hold of when he's made the first serve in this set, isn't he? Show a fair bit of patience when he couldn't convert early on. We're an hour and a half in. We're a set apiece. Perfectly poised in.
Shelton
This third rounder. 2 Americans locked at a set apiece.
Love.
A couple of people sitting next to me also thought that was long on the baseline.
all.
He's tumbled, but he's taken it. That was a work of art right there. I do see a Springbok on his jersey, so not surprising.
Let's for service. They
get everywhere, these South Africans, don't they? I mean, we try and keep them out of the conversation, and it's just impossible.
Four.
Isn't it? Ben's slightly unconventional route, really, when we talk about development of players. It feels like we're certainly back in my homeland where there's so much emphasis on playing a lot of matches as a 8 and 10-year-old. You've got to go and play X amount of matches a year. But this guy really, I mean, tennis really wasn't.
And that was a lot of what his focus was. But good for tennis that eventually found his way to his dad and his mom's family sport, for that matter. Some people might not realize, of course, they know that his father now is a professional for many years on the tour. What they don't realize is that his mom, Lisa, her maiden name is Witskin. And if you're a longtime tennis fan like we are, you would remember Todd Witskin, one of her brothers. She has a big family. And Todd, in 1986, in the 3rd round of the U.S. Open, beat Jimmy Connors in straight sets. Connors hadn't lost before the semis of the U.S. Open for 13 years. Major upset. Todd was a fantastic singles and even more so doubles player, top 10 doubles player. Chance here for Shelton, so I'll get quickly to the rest of the story. Todd Witskin had a tremendous tennis career. Brian Shelton married Todd's sister Lisa, and sadly, Todd lost his battle with cancer. Died in his 30s. Tragedy. So we never knew that. But tennis blood is coursing through both sides of his family. Yeah.
That's Francis Tiafoe at his athletic and creative best. Otherworldly off that backhand side.
That, I think, was his quickest serve of the day. It was. And some heat attached to it. Adrenaline playing its part.
Juice. Advantage, Tiafoe.
Put in such a good shift at the end of the second from Tiafoe, but he's maintained his focus well. A little look up towards his corner, of course, his best friend Geordie. It's a very good ball, Geordie, doesn't he? I often see those guys warming up together.
Hitting love.
Side when it looked as though there weren't many options for him here to try and diffuse the situation. He may have got lucky in the end, but just seems to have caught Shelton slightly by surprise. And once more, this guy has got a look at the Shelton serve.
That's not coming back.
Not unless you're guessing. Not touching 132 close to the line. Francis was covering the slow wide one. It's a good forehand.
Advantage,
Shelton continues to make serves up in the Sasha Zverev range. Up at 71% for the match, and his fastest serve is 139 miles an hour. He's got the cannon, we know that. But his average first serve just a shade over 110. Francis is actually averaging higher because he goes for more, as you can see here. Francis up at 117. Francis making far less as a result.
Shelton, who has definitely had to work a little harder for his holds throughout the course of this match.
Shelton
He
leads
holds
by
a
2
slender
games to
lead,
1.
early
Third
stages of
set.
the third.
1-2.
Goodness. That's about as good as it gets from there.
15 love.
We got a good listen in to Brian Shelton instructing Ben to try and gain as much ground as he can in these battles, not give up court position against Francis. We know Francis wants to get into the net.
30 love.
So too, Ben, they've both been there right about the same amount of times, and it's so much of who wins these matches is about who controls the center of the court. The further you go back, the more vulnerable you are to angles, and that's what his dad was instructing him. Because while Francis can't really hit great angles with his backhand, he's good on them, but because he doesn't have topspin, he can't be aggressive with them. He has to caress them. He can absolutely snap off the forehand cross court with all the topspin he can get.
$14-15.
Fault.
Game.
Shelton trying to shift the return position a little higher off the second there, but
2 games sold. Third set.
Way to hit that. Come on. Vamos.
much of a difference actually. Just got some numbers in terms of first serve unreturned here, Jim, for this match so far. Shelton with a 10% swing, but not perhaps quite the advantage you would think necessarily. Shelton at 39% unreturned first serve. Tiafoe at 29 so far today.
Thank you.
Right off the line. Shelton doing a better, Tiafoe doing a better job of not getting his serve threatened. And, you know, Francis is just, the returns from Shelton aren't doing damage necessarily. And that's, sometimes, I mean, I love numbers as much as anybody in tennis. We can derive a lot of information, but sometimes the quality of the return is going to be so much more important than how many made. And our unique scoring system really stresses peaking at the right time and stringing, getting streaky and doing it in one return game, and that can be enough. That's where Shelton needs, he might need to up his risk profile on his return of serve and try and just take some chances.
14-15.
Where if tennis was like team sports and you played in halves or quarters and you had a chance to go into the locker room with your team and kind of look at some information and really, okay, this is what we need to really shift because we're not making much ground here. These guys have to do it on the fly. A little bit of input from their coaches.
Nice quick hold.
Shelton leads by 3 games to 2.
Shelton.
Third set, 1-2.
Just 7 spots in the world ranking separate these two coming into this week. Somewhat gone in opposite directions at times. One's gone one way, one's gone the other, certainly in the early part of the year. Did as well do to Francis is he encouraged him to be a more aggressive first server, didn't he? When you look back at his 4 or 5 years ago, he asked Francis to take a bit more risk on his first serve, look for the free point a bit more often.
Francis's favorite serves, as he misses that runner, are slice serves. He likes to slice in the deuce court, likes to slice up the tee, and I remember Wayne talking about how he wanted him to really find that flat serve up the middle in the deuce court and pronate the flat serve wide in the ad to be less predictable. Today he's been very predictable, hasn't he, Nick?
Mm-hmm. A lot to the back end wing, right? So far.
Tons. And it's working out just fine. I mean, winning over 80% of first serves in play.
I think the backhand slice has definitely improved as well this season. Just watching it here courtside, he's getting some nice bite on it. Technically, he's getting down low, and the effect that it has on the other side of the net is it buys him time, and as a result, he can often bring his forehand into play 1 or 2 shots later, which is always the goal for Shelton.
Seen a break point since the opening set as Ben Shelton. Here's a real moment in the match. Does Tiafoe go back to the serve that's been working so well for him, that slice up the middle of the backhand? Shelton has to be looking there, and if you get beat wide over the high part of the net, too good. Got to protect the middle here.
Yeah, he waited for that volley to come to him. He hit that right in front of me, and instead of going to meet it out front, I'm not sure the first volley should have been a drop volley, gentlemen. I would like positional play first, and then maybe the second one looking for the drop shot thereafter. Wrong shot and wrong execution.
Again with a change up there. A few returns have come back into play in this game off his two-hander.
Advantage, Shelton.
Once again into one of those key games. The longer it goes on, more significant you feel it becomes.
Juice.
Those are regrettable decision-making moves by Shelton. Trying to hit winners with his backhand from deep in the court is a low probability outcome. His forehand is a different story, but he shouldn't be trying to decide points with his backhand in rallies right now. Not at this critical juncture when he's got an opportunity to take over. You got to wait with your backhand and finish with the forehand.
Sword and the shield, isn't it? And he is very much in that category, you feel, right now. The shield let him down, and so did the sword right at the end there, disappointingly.
Yeah, and I was just remarking how beautiful his backhand slice is looking. Why not be a bit patient with that shot? Tiafoe is finding it very difficult to attack that shot, so easy for Ben to remain neutral in the rally. All the pressure's on Francis.
Yeah, but isn't this fun, guys? Break points coming both sides. A lot to play for, of course. Lots on the line for these two top 20 Americans.
Thank you.
This is the way it's supposed to be. A little spicy.
Yeah. Sport is the best form of reality TV.
His first serve percentage, we've highlighted it a fair bit, but it's even better in this set, almost 80 right now. Just 2 points lost when he made it as well. More success in that department in this set.
It's beautiful. Jim, here's a question for you. Playing a match like this, a big match, there's a lot on the line. Did you ever take time, even if it was just for 1 point, to look around and think, man, this is pretty cool? Or were you just locked in all the time?
It's usually walking out of the tunnel that was a moment to appreciate how lucky these athletes are to do what they love and have people pay money to watch it. It's almost an unbelievable feeling. And never take it for granted, but once you are in the battle, Robbie, you know it, you lived it. You just have to stay in the moment and play it shot for shot. You don't have time to appreciate everything. We get to appreciate that little beauty. What a little feathery half volley that was.
Shelton leads by 4 games to 3.
2 hours and 4 minutes into this one. I'll try and describe this forehand for you.
Start with the grip.
Yeah,
and take me from there.
So give us a good look at it. put the chopper one out there, and it was effective.
He's just kept his volley grip and just flat centered it in the racket, and that was a surprise on many levels. Love 30, 2 improbable steals from Shelton in this game off the forehand wing.
Love 30.
Yep, the bend has undone him. Just when he thought the racket was in the right position. Just misjudged this.
Don't you call that the banana, Rob?
That's where I come from, the Banana Boys. We are down in Durban. Good shout.
Oh.
Looking to get his forehand into play. Just got himself a little tied up earlier in the rally. Handed the initiative to his opponent.
Still 15-30. This is a moment you again take away the middle serve here, force Tiafoe to go wide. Took that. What a pass that was. From so deep in the court to dip that one was exceptional.
15-14.
The way to express yourself, man. Go express your talent. Let's go. Believe it. All you. Keep believing.
He's going to look at some more break points.
Shelton.
The end is gifted him a game that Shelton has taken, and one that Tiafoe you feel would rather forget.
Shelton leads by 5 games to 3.
He left himself with too much to do.
Everything with purpose. Go. Go, man. Work.
Set where he has only lost a total of 5 points on his own deal. Ben Shelton serving for a 2-1 lead. Tournament so far, and Shelton will wonder in the end how he's missed the last volley.
But how in the world was this point still going? Like, how does this shot go in?
Love 15.
Tiafoe thought it was out, and the call never came, so he gets back into the rally, and that was tremendous. What a pickup. What an athlete. He impresses even when he loses points.
Absolutely. Plenty of appeal in this young man. Wasn't ready for the return, was he? Tiafoe did a great job of wrestling that one down the line.
Love 30.
Taking that second early, so sometimes into the body, like hybrid or something.
That is the play. If someone's crowding the baseline return, you try and jam the ball into their body with your second serve. Best case scenarios did not have to hit one. Just keep pumping first serves in.
This is number 5 of this set.
Tennis intelligence. I love the caginess of the backhand slice, and then the late decision just to sneak up on him like a Prius.
Shelton forced to hit the panic button there, wasn't he? With his last slice, didn't know where to go really. Too many occasions Ben Shelton has faced 14 break points in 3 sets of tennis, can there?
We're ready for that first ball every time.
Come on, I wouldn't think so.
Every time, you're ready. Oh, good lead.
That's exactly what he's had to do today.
Did all the hard work making that second serve return at 118 miles an hour.
His dad called for the body serve, and son delivered it, but Shelton fought it off and fights off that set point, and the backhand misses.
Take it and go. Come on.
Another time that the backhand was the decision maker for Shelton.
Seriously impressive, because he had to soak up a lot.
This reminds me of that famous Crocodile Dundee line. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Look at that, a little dropped shot, and then he just returns the favor, just cuts this ball in two.
Thank you.
Crowd up in the ante as well.
Please.
Trying to shut it out in this third set, not to be. There's a little more script to be written here. Enthralling contest. here on Ash. Second of the day session matches. Just gone 5 o'clock here in New York.
Let's first service.
Belt and suspenders on that approach shot. Way too safe. Right to the center of the court. It was a great volley, though, wasn't it? But how about the flick from Ben Shelton? All of a sudden, holding serve is a real challenge for these guys.
Beautifully, didn't he?
Well, I like that return serve from Ben Shelton a lot. Just the block return. It was a quality serve out wide. He gave himself a chance, and Tiafoe had to take a chance himself on that drop shot, but he did it. Risky and rewarding in the end.
Discussed it earlier, but the feel he has off his slice backhand really is right up there. And some of the best in the game. His ability to take pace out of that ball is pretty special.
Juice.
Not for the first time decelerating too much behind that second serve. What a skill merchant. Highlighting his feel once again. I tell you what, Ben was halfway up the court, so he didn't have a lot of room to work with. That's how good the shot had to be. Plenty of skill and feel required.
He won 3/4 of the points, isn't he? On by our numbers when he's come in.
A little Salt Bay on that sizzle afterwards, too.
Didn't go unnoticed, did it? They've got 198 points. It's currently 99 all.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
believe he's missed that. Certainly not wide. Guessed correctly.
Matches we've seen so far on the men's side in week one, certainly this period of it anyway, because sustained quality. Both bringing the best out of one another here. Set close now to an hour in duration. This game out with it. The serve he missed was 142 miles an hour.
Body serve coming here.
Pretty strong reaction from Shelton as well. We are very much at the sharp end of the third set. The set that could prove decisive.
By 6 games to 5. Third set, 1 settle.
Instructions coming to Shelton from his father to go through Tiafoe's forehand on the big points. Stay away from the solid two-hander. I like that input. I think that's the right one because Francis is just so compact and just doesn't miss his backhand as often.
That's a beautiful opening point. Floated onto that backhand.
He sure did. The downside of playing to Tiafoe's forehand is if you don't do enough with your shot to hurt him, he can definitely sting you with it. You need to, if you want to hurt Tiafoe's forehand, you have to hit big into it. It's a little bit like Swiatek's forehand. On a quick court, go hard into it, she's neutralized. But if you leave it hanging, you're toast.
When he delivered that message, Jim, it was quite loud because I heard it here in my sitting position. And I'm just wondering if it was loud enough that Tiafoe heard it, and whether there's some subtle college coaching techniques going on there. Just loud enough so the opponent can perhaps be aware of some frailties. Or try to make them think about it more.
Robbie, you got that Machiavellian streak in you. You are a cynic.
Whatever it takes, Jumbo. So when I went to watch college tennis for the first time, it opened up my eyes, I'll tell you that much. does it all match. Subtle brilliance. And a little bit more toppy on that one. Had better shape. That's what gave him the length. Placed with geometric perfection right in the top corner of the court.
Sense of deja vu about this, isn't it? From their matchup here last year.
6 games all. Third set.
On occasion, as Jim was reminding us, it was a third set breaker that really proved a tipping point in terms of the outcome of it.
And for Tiafoe, Nick, not only in the match, but for the remainder of the season and well into this year.
Yep. Only won back-to-back matches, Francis, once all year coming into the event in DC, remember. It had been a disappointing one. Looks like he's going for the first serve, the big first serve a little more often to get that confirmed, but
no, it's confirmed. His average first serve speed has climbed up to 114, so it is slowly turning up the heat.
Shelton.
Jim, on the balance of play in the big moments in this match thus far, do you think one player's been a little bit better than the other?
Certainly in this tiebreaker, no question who's better. But Robbie, to answer that, I'd say, you know, Shelton has been better at handling the big moments. How many break points has he had to defend? 15 of them. And only broken 3 times. So Tiafoe's been better at creating pressure. But right now he's under it. Shelton, too many breaks.
Shelton.
That first ball there. For him. Come on, man. Go. Good job. Stay
Ball.
tough lob to execute. So volley, I think he's sprinkled in, but infrequently.
Tiafoe dumping the towel boxes in frustration in the corner, down 5 love here. His team trying to keep him engaged. You just win these 2 on your serve.
"66 minutes this set. The 63 of them, Tiafoe was pretty much in the conversation, but not right now.
Shelton.
Tiafoe's frustrated. It's not going to be an easy sit down for him, but this has been more about what Shelton's done in this tiebreaker. The question's going to be, if it does go the way of Shelton, as we suspect it will, does Tiafoe have a different mindset down 2-1 than last year, where it seemed like he didn't have enough fight left in him?
Shelton.
Low lob. Doesn't always work, but Shelton rather rushing that one. Went away with it, Tiafoe.
6-3.
This has got a little intrigue.
Shelton.
Out of nowhere. It's just taking a little bit of additional time. Dan watching on.
Shelton.
It's a lot of unforced errors on the trot for Shelton. Set point number 6. A big game.
Thank you.
Remarkably, Shelton is down to his last
ready for play.
Set point.
Thank you.
Shelton leads by 2-1. It was dramatic. It was 71 minutes. 7-6.
I'm in the co-pilot seat. You're the pilot. You got to fly the dang thing. I just got to make sure we don't crash.
I mean, now you tell me. Tiafoe played the US Open for the very first time. He got a wild card. He was, of course, a very, very good junior. Just in the qualies that year. It's a good depth there. That volume. Tiafoe just couldn't get underneath it.
Better get his feet underneath him right here. Love 30.
Brett Waltz from the right there. There's a lot of the physical work with Francis. Didn't look likely. Well, what a pass that is.
15-30.
There you go. Intensity.
Nearly perfect point from Ben Shelton, and that is a ridiculous pass at a time of real crisis for Tiafoe. That could have been love 40.
We talk about Ben wanting to improve his return points won. I don't understand what he's trying to do with that return. It's just given the score line, given the moment we're in the match. All the pressure's on Francis, and he hasn't made either of the second serve returns he's got to look at.
But that passing shot, I'm still gobsmacked by that love 30 forehand pass, preventing a love 40 deficit.
Yeah.
Look at that reaction. He knows just how important that game could prove to be.
First game, 4 sets.
Yeah, just following up on what they got.
Love.
Serve speeds up a bit, Jim. You were just informing me.
Yeah,
for Shelton.
Our friends at Hawkeye show that in that third set he's lifted his first serve speeds, as your eyeballs showed. You eyeballed it, said it looked like he was hitting it bigger. Well, yeah, he was up a good 6 miles an hour on average, faster than the opening set. And first serve percentage understandably coming down. That's the trade-off, right? But the only thing that matters is how often you're holding serve. Only thing that counts. And in that second set, Tiafoe just was all over him, right? So many breakpoint chances that he had. Couldn't convert much. But Francis had far fewer chances to break, so that was a good trade-off for Shelton. Good adjustment. That's what you want to see. Some logic behind the maneuvering out here.
Almost.
40-30.
Off the miraculous.
Game, Shelton. One game all, fourth set.
This tournament, of course, losing Carlos Alcaraz last night. Botic van der Sandskol has had a pretty substandard year, in truth.
Can you just say that last Botic van der Sandskol? Can you repeat that for me? I heard like 17 different pronunciations of that last night on another network.
Botic van der Sandskol.
Oh, you nailed it. I love it. Thank you for that. The Europeans always have a way with the languages.
Anything for you, JC? However you say his name, he was good.
Well, I say it the way he says it, which is how you say it. And he was better than good, that's for sure.
See actually when Alcaraz plays again, because I think he's due to play Davis Cup with Gauff the next in Valencia. Pulled out of that last year. Whether a break's in order, potentially. What would your advice be for him, just to get away from the courts for a little while, or
well,
what do you think?
He's got a, he has a imposed hiatus now. He's off the entire second week of the U.S. Open. Spain, did you mention this just now? They're automatically in the finals of Davis Cup, aren't they, as the host nation?
No, they're in Valencia.
They have to qualify?
Week after next, yeah.
Well, he should definitely not play that. They've got enough depth to get through. He should take that time off for sure. Misses. And we'll carry that conversation on. It's a good thing to chew on. And Tiafoe fighting into this fourth set.
2 games to 1, 4 sets. Shelton by 2 sets to 1.
They're all over the place.
We're going to record territory though, aren't we, Nick? In a season. We have surpassed 1992, where we had 112 five-setters in the season. And I guess that's just testimony as to how these matches are just getting tighter and tighter as the years go by. Margins so small.
Tension here in this service game now at 15-30.
15-30.
Between these players, I mean, Shelton is up 2 sets to 1, but he's won 3 fewer points than Francis so far today. Francis with the advantage of serving first in this set, providing the margin.
So good.
30 all.
He's got no pace to work with. They had to generate it all himself.
Yeah, moving backwards too, Robbie.
Just shows you when you've got depth on your shot, your ability to get it by your opponent.
Nah, Robbie, if you play with their rackets, you'd hit that shot.
Can't even.
Your arm would have fallen off
Just
immediately. But
throbs watching him.
40-30. Shelton.
3 hours just
2
over.
games all. 4 sets.
As these two continue to lock horns.
Keep Billie. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. All David. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Right there.
Talking about Alcaraz's schedule, just dip back in there for one quick second. So if I were running shop for him, I wouldn't have him play Davis Cup. I know that's complicated. It's what Jannik Sinner did last year, and he ended up leading his team to the title once they qualified without him. He led them to the title in the final. That's what I would lean on if I was Alcaraz. Give him some rest. Juan Carlos Ferrero is so experienced and smart at it. And then resurface for Laver Cup. It's a great re-entry point. Low impact. You play 2 singles matches, 1 doubles match most likely, and that can kind of get you back going for Shanghai, right?
Yep.
You got to go. You're going to Shanghai, Masters 1000. Get those matches in Berlin at Laver Cup, and then get on the plane, refreshed, ready to go, finish strong. He looked just fried mentally to me watching that match. We were talking about it, Nick, but just the choices he was making. There was a level of impatience there that a fresher mind might have altered. I think the Olympic loss and the silver medal instead of gold really took the wind out of his sails and never really recovered in this North American hardcourt swing. Monfils ambushed him on the ice skating rinks of Cincinnati.
Yep.
30-15.
And Van de Zandschulp did the same on a slightly slower court last night, but it was more his inability to problem solve because his mind looked tired.
Yep.
And that's where Tiafoe has benefited from skipping the Olympics. Shelton the same. Both of those guys had the right to be in Paris by ranking.
Yep.
Both of them bypassed it.
Yeah, almost to a man, right? Everybody has played the Olympics, didn't shine the next 2 weeks in the Masters 1000s.
There is, of course, a new exhibition taking place as well in the autumn in Saudi Arabia. 6 Kings Slam. I think it's the week after Shanghai, actually. And they're playing for a bit more than a cup of tea that week, I think. A little bit of cash on the line for some of those guys.
Yeah, there'll be a big guarantees for everyone. So that's low stress. So playing an exhibition versus playing for a trophy, very, very different when ATP points are on the line.
It's a lot of 3-point.
40-30. Tiafoe leads by 3 games to 2.
Holds on to his lead in
sets. Shelton by 2 sets to 1.
I look down from above on this cavernous stadium here inside Arthur Ashe.
15 love.
The people were looking forward to this matchup when the draw was made, hoping that 2 men would, in their first couple of rounds, to square off, not being disappointed.
30 love. 30-15.
Drop conditions change courtside a bit, given the fact we're now into early evening.
No, it's a little bit of humidity still around there. Well, perfect, Nick. The lights come on early just to make the transition from pure daylight into night seamless. Haven't felt much change. And as I said, Nick, players couldn't ask for better conditions to ply their trade. That's what I'm talking about. Show-stopping return.
30-14.
I mean, it's one thing getting a racket on this ball. It's another being able to redirect it in the fashion he did. Quite incredible.
Juice.
There's a big reaction. Knows the value of holding on here.
And the value of sending a message to the other side of the court, given what happened on the previous point, Nick.
This will be a look at a 17th point by my calculations and a quick look. That's the most Shelton's ever faced in a major match. Tiafoe looking to convert.
What a lunging volley. That's where all the legwork in the gym pays off.
Juice.
The leg strength to stretch out and get that volley was amazing, and what a time for it.
Advantage, Shelton.
We talked about the serve speed that you picked up on in the third set, the rising access to his pace. A little off-speed pitch, but in this set, Shelton continues to go with the big bomber mostly, 125 on average, higher than the third even. Runs that throw. What a save.
Ooh, what's happening here?
3 games all.
No.
4 sets.
Gosh. Shelton's problem. Okay.
Did the ball crew member get hit by the ball? Or? Nearly hit triple digits on that forehand winner.
Lovely.
It's a good catch. Didn't have to give it back. You're allowed to keep the balls here at the U.S. Open on the big show courts. They have plenty of spares hanging around. It's a good souvenir if you like one.
Research being done, wasn't there, by the ATP? I don't know where we're at with that, of trying to make this ball a bit more uniform. That seems to have quieted down a little bit, that conversation of late, but...
Yeah, some people might not know, Nick, the folks at home, the men and women play with a different type of Wilson ball. The men play with what's called extra duty, and the women play with regular duty, slightly lighter. It's due to the thickness of the felt.
14-15.
Faltered last year in the fourth. He's got other ideas here.
Fourth sets, Shelton by 2 sets to 1.
Oh man.
Well deserved, Nick.
Get lucky every now and again, right?
Yeah,
just keep it quiet.
We look forward to getting invited over for tea.
Once again, a slice of rich quality from Shelton.
It almost seems like it's burrowing into the court. It's staying so low.
Ball.
The shot selection there, isn't it?
We got our answer early in this set, though. Tiafoe is not giving any quarter in this fourth set. He's not going to go quietly into the good night like he did last year in the fourth set against Shelton. He is raging out here.
Love the soft skills on display in that rally. We know that these guys have got plenty of power. But the old school slice and the dipper cross court, it wasn't about pace, it was about beating them with shape and angle. Good tennis from both.
First ace of the set for Shelton. Excuse me, second.
4 games all.
He's up to 17 in all now.
You're always front running the stats. You're just too quick for the stat machine.
Well,
Get physical, man. Let's go.
always looks like he's enjoying himself, doesn't he, Brian?
Yeah, he's got a really nice way about him.
Many people know him as the coach that won the NCAA championships with Florida. But he also is the only coach in NCAA history to also win it on the women's side. He won that with Georgia Tech, did Brian.
Real quick story, Robbie, because you don't want to get in the way of this magnificent match, but when he was at Georgia Tech, he recruited Susanna Lingman, who is now Susanna Courier. My wife nearly went to play college tennis for him.
Cool story.
She followed her brother, who was playing tennis at another school instead, and sometimes wonders what would happen if she went there. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's all good.
All right.
He's more worried about the ball kick.
Okay.
Good old fist bump there.
It's nice of him to put Francis's water bottle back in place, too.
So funny that was, though, wasn't it?
He just comes sliding into the area right where the ball kid is, right there.
Game, Tiafoe.
Looking for a quick route out of that game. Tiafoe, if he can find a way to break here, will send this into a fifth with 3 hours and 20 minutes in.
Shelton by 2 sets.
But if I were in the night crew, might be cheering for Shelton to finish at 4. 7 p.m. match looks like it might be a little delayed.
Yeah.
And it will be if this goes 5.
Some contact on the return. Not quite good enough.
Can you believe it?
15-14.
Couple of gifts.
Thank you.
And a couple of set points. What a second delivery.
Juice.
And a topsy-turvy game for Ben Shelton. 3 unforced errors, putting him in a hole at 15-40. And then delivering the goods to get back to deuce. Tiafoe has had 4 breakpoint chances this set. 0 for 4. Has he yet to face one on his own serve.
advantage, Tiafoe.
Continue to push each other. We're down to a one-set shootout. Third major this year.
15
In terms of five-setters here at the Open, Shelton's only played one before. This is Francis's 7th. Was on this court, and that defeat to Alcaraz in the semis 2 years ago. What an atmosphere it was that night. Not been too many better than that.
What a difference when Francis gets a bit of racket head speed through his backhand. Oh.
As he could have wished for.
And that'll put a pep in your step.
First game.
Jim, I don't know if you remember the conversation we once had about serving first or second.
Yep.
In a fifth set. Most of us subscribe.
There's a comfort level in lead with the lead, right? So if you serve first, as long as you're holding serve, it just feels better. You don't have to serve to stay in a match, right? You don't have that type of pressure, but really the numbers show that it doesn't matter much. Actually, if you serve second, if you do the deep dive, they've won more. You still have to break serve once, or you got to take it in a breaker. So it's all about perspective, but there's no question that if you just poll the playing group, every single one that I've ever talked to about it, prefer to serve first because it just feels more comfortable. And that's men's tennis. It may not be the same in women's tennis where breaks of serve happen more frequently.
I also remember you mentioning something about you actually didn't mind serving after the sit down.
Well, there's that piece too, right? But that's related to the physical challenge of a long match when you need energy. And so if you're serving after a sit down, you get 90 seconds to rest and relax and spend as much energy as you need to hold serve.
Yep.
And if you hold easily, and this is if you're really tired, right? You're trying to conserve energy and just hang on and spend fuel as required to get to the finish you desire. If you hold quickly, then you can spend some energy trying to break. And if you don't, you can just tank the game, save energy, and get some extra rest before you serve again.
14.
But that's not your choice necessarily. It's just a matter of you deal with it as it comes. But does that make sense? Did I explain it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. A few conversations with Robbie, Nick, over the years. It's hard to keep them all straight.
Tell me about it.
Game.
Two very strong holes.
How about holding with just one first serve for Shelton there? That's got to be a confidence booster.
Rhythm on the backhand return. Don't get quick. Come on. Let's do it, man. No rhythm. Let's go, man. Work the middle.
Crowd's just descending into their seats after that game, so a little bit of a beat, and here we go.
Love the team. Wait, please. Wait, please.
There's some wildlife. Yeah. Bobby, jump out of your seat and go grab that.
Tell you what. Maybe the single-handed backhand is an option for Ben after all. Swatted that thing away.
Just lost a piece of the audience, though.
Robbie's from, they barbecue that thing pretty quickly as well, Jim.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was just enough, wasn't it, to force Tiafoe to go for a bit much.
15-30.
That right there is what a good net player is able to do with his movement. If you cover the right space, you're able to force an error from your opponent.
Francis's team, Jordi Arcanata, telling him if you don't have a play, go right at him with the passing shot.
Construction at that point, and it all started with the return of serve. Remember, there was maybe a game in the second set where he just teed off a 15-30 return. That was so well controlled. Nice heavy forehand, not looking to win the points, but just neutralize it. All the pressure's on Tiafoe. It's just so simple, yet so effective from Shelton there.
Shelton's he's only achieved 5 break points, but he's converted 3 of them so far. Here's number 6 in the match. Tiafoe's had 20 break point chances, only been able to convert 4, but Shelton's been awesome, just like Francis was there.
Yeah, that was
a moment of truth.
Yeah, sorry, Jim, that was only just shy of his quickest serve of the evening.
You happy with that shot selection, Jim?
Yep, not trying to go through the middle that hard. Probably not the right one. But
undone by a complete lack of pace there, wasn't he?
Advantage, Tiafoe.
2 miles an hour.
it's one of the features of Tiafoe's serve. There's such a big difference between his first serve average speed and his second serve, which is among the slowest second serves in men's tennis, but a lot of kick to it. That's why Shelton can stand back in this ad court and then still have time to move around and get forehands very often on these second serve returns.
Big time. And it's a big boost for him as well.
Tiafoe leads by 2 games to 1. Final sets.
Beverage options and so many fun things to do as you bide your time to get in to watch the GOAT, Djokovic and Sabalenka, both on deck tonight. First things first, a 5th set here.
Love team. Bit
more work on that serve, wasn't it? Just to try and get it moving away from his fellow American. Did a good job of it.
touching.
Just took a slightly bigger cut at that forehand. Ended up catching it late. So happy to be in the rally, I think Francis wanted to take the opportunity.
Slow to react to the quality of the return into the space. prove to be.
Not sure what else you want if you're a tennis fan than this point. Incredible movement, athleticism,
final set.
And a big, emphatic finger in the air after he sticks that volley away. Look at his girlfriend. She can barely watch him rally. And the mom, Alfina, and girlfriend Ian up. Oh, they're living and dying with him.
Ready for play. Thank you.
Sorry for himself. That was one of his best of the evening.
Took a big lash at that and then a big tumble afterwards. Need to see that on replay to see exactly what went down and how he went down.
15-1.
Wasn't expecting this for him. Tiafoe doesn't often hit it. And he went to slide afterwards. Let's take a look here. This should give us an idea. Yeah, he's okay. That'll hurt your feelings more than your body. Robbie, that was right in your lap. Did you catch that?
Yeah, there's a Kiwi sitting in front of me. He's let me down as Percy Meehan. Not speaking of All Blacks playing the Springboks tomorrow.
Obviously, are a very small part of this match, but 27 rallies with an over 9, Jim. And Francis has won 21.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal hit rate. Don't often see that discrepancy. Perhaps the little more polished veteran able to stay in those rallies longer. Mistakes like Tiafoe firmly in front now.
He might just be staying in this tournament longer as well. He is 2 games away
4 games to 1
from taking out last year's semi-finalist. For the left-hander.
An adrenaline-fueled forehand. Perhaps with a touch of frustration.
Too many first serves being landed from Shelton's perspective in this 5th. works so hard right now, isn't he? For everything as well. In the unforced error count, just 2 from Tiafoe in 5 and a bit games in this set.
Time on the clock nearing 4 hours of play. You wonder if the legs of Shelton are feeling fresh. Sometimes that can contribute to a lower first serve percentage too. He uses his legs just about as much as anyone in men's tennis to really add speed to his serve.
Tiafoe leads by 4 games to 2. Final set.
Be ready for the forehand. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on. He's gonna help.
Dad pushing him to stand in on second serves. Gabe Echeverria, his strength and conditioning coach, adding encouragement just next to his mom, Lisa. Of course, Tiafoe has to miss first serves for that tactic to be deployed. Third meeting between these two. Here last year at the US Open, finals of Houston this year, both won by Shelton.
And both competitive affairs, which is exactly what we have witnessed here today.
How's that serving? Untouchable. 3 on the trot. Should we get a clean sweep of first serves here?
Season so far. He's up 5-2.
Tiafoe leads by 5 games to 2. Final sets.
Patience, losing his grip on this match.
Shelton's had to earn these last 2 sets. He's had to earn nearly every single point. Tiafoe has given him so few unforced errors in the 4th and 5th. This set, only 2 unforced errors. He's been vacuum packed. The only shame about this match is that it's a 3rd round match and not a quarterfinal like it was last year.
Yep.
It's a shame one of these guys is going to get put out of this tournament this early, because this level of tennis would have taken both of them a long way if they'd avoided each other.
40-15.
Vaporize that one. Sears the baseline. Keep those arms nice and loose in case you have to serve it out.
As we head into hour number 5.
Tiafoe leads by 5 games to 3. Final
step up.
Thank you.
Four.
intelligent passing shot from Ben.
Love fatigue.
An aggressive shot to a big target.
Didn't overcomplicate it, did he, Rob?
Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, Nick. It's a huge opening point. As you like, second time round.
Thank you.
2 match points for Frances Tiafoe.
Tennis guys just want a little bit more. Put that one on a platter for Shelton to finish, but one more match point still on the line.
Ready to play.
Stood in places because Tiafoe's turned the tables on Shelton inside avalanche. He's doing it again. And he's through to the last 16.
All the pain from last year turned into pleasure tonight for Tiafoe. A loss to Shelton in the quarterfinals last year seemed to gut him, seemed to rob him of enthusiasm for the sport for some time. Oh, tears in her eyes, and absolute joy in the player's box and on court with Frances Tiafoe. That, gentleman, was a phenomenal performance. Ben Shelton did not give that to him. Tiafoe had to dig deep and take it. And what about the sneak attack on match point? He just appeared at the net out of thin air and hit the silkiest of drop volleys to win it. But what a contest. What a player Ben Shelton is, and what a moment between the two of them. Gosh, I really want to know what Shelton held him at the net to make sure he communicated. I wonder if it wasn't, hey, if you're beating me, you better be lifting this trophy in a couple of weeks' time.
Along those lines, didn't it? And we will get a little more information on that, I'm sure, in coming hours. Shelton departs. We'll look forward to seeing him again in the near future. He is a guy who turns heads in this sport. And we are all the better for it. Let's hear from him. Chris Eubanks is asking the questions.
Frances, when we spoke a few days ago, you made it very clear that when you saw the draw, you wanted this matchup, you got this matchup, and you made the most of this matchup. what is it about your matchups with Ben that makes such incredible tennis? Well, first off, I got to say Ben's an incredible player, man. He's an incredible player. He really is. He goes for all kinds of shots. He's got no care in the world. It's really annoying. He's got a great serve, and he has great energy out here. But yeah, I mean, he's really talented. He can come up with great shots. So can I. We both move really well. So I mean, it's just highlight after highlight, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the show. 4 hours of just battle.
Francis, we're going to stop it there. We're going to let you go back and get some rest. 4 hours of battle. I think you deserved it. Ladies and gentlemen, Francis Tiafoe.
Yeah, when he's playing in this fashion again, he's a danger to anybody, particularly on this court, as Jim was saying. This brings the best out of him, these sorts of occasions. A little subdued last year, and for much of this year, but he's peaking again.
Yep, that's right. He's certainly gotten himself from the start of this summer. Boy, has it looked like the right call for him to skip the Olympics. But he has found something. Finalist in Cincinnati, now a confident round of 16 participant. How far can he go? Well, the draw gods have not been kind to him. It's going to be tough from here.
Certainly is. That smile's going to stay on for a while, though.
Well, gentlemen, just a big thank you from courtside. That was something special to be part of. Glad I could share it with you boys. Doesn't get much better than that.
Thanks to you too, Rob. There'll be a slight delay, as Jim was mentioning, in terms of what goes on from here on in, because the night session due to start about 5 minutes ago. But they'll be putting that on hold, make sure this place is cleaned up, ready for what's to come under the lights here. Yeah, he's going to take a while. I mean, this is a fair amount of gear he's got here to sort out.
By the time Francis organizes all of the gear that's scattered around his chair there, the rest of the crowd may be out of the stadium. He might not even sign any autographs, because they're getting shooed out quickly in order to get this beautiful Arthur Ashe Stadium polished and ready and shiny for the night crowd, which is hovering outside, anxiously awaiting their turn. Here is another look at that match point. I mean, who comes in on that shot? Who does that? Francis Tiafoe. That's who. And look at his ability to finesse that. It doesn't get any better than that, fellas.
Yeah, half century of net approaches tonight. It certainly was a big part of his success, wasn't it, Jim?
Without doubt.
He's so capable. And onwards and upwards for this enigmatic American. What a reaction. His significant support camp. He's heading off. We will do so shortly as well. My house, possibly, who knows? It's actually Arthur's, but we're not too worried, are we, Jim?
No, we're not. He can borrow it for a minute.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Emotional scenes.
Well, they've been basically his therapists, I would imagine, his family and friends and girlfriend, mom, dad, all of that, as he's had a difficult time since this time last year until just recently.
27 unforced in 4 hours and 5 minutes. I mean, that is keeping things tight.
Yeah. About 44 winners to go with it. It was very high level from the jump. Both of these players came with their A games ready to go. And we are all the better for it. One of the better matches I've witnessed in person this season. That was a lot of fun. Nick, thanks for the good guidance, and Robbie down below.
Pleasure, JC. We're off to get some dinner. I hope you can stay with us, because plenty of good tennis here on Ashe this evening.
from the United States.
Touch, stop play. Tiafoe. Second set, Tiafoe. Tiafoe. Seven, 6-4, 6-3.